students, welcome to this video session. I remain Samuel Chukwuemeka, your instructor. In this video session, we shall discuss solved examples for quiz 3. We shall do similar examples for your quiz 3. We start with number 1. A plumber charges customers $65 for each hour. For each hour worked. A plumber charges customers $65 for each hour worked, plus an additional $10 for travel. If H, so we're looking at H. If H represents the number of hours worked, write the expression for the plumber's total charge in dollars. So we're looking at now, for H is the number of hours worked, right? So the H is the number of hours worked. Now he charges $65 per hour. So if he works 1 hour, it's going to be 65 times 1, which is $65. If he works 2 hours, it will be 65 times 2, which is $130. So hours worked, charge for hours worked, or $65 at $H per hour. You can write charge for hours worked, okay? Or you can write it at this, $65 per hour at H hours. At H hours. So this will be 65 times H, which is 65H. 65H. Because if it's 1 hour, it's going to be 65 times 1. If it's 2 hours, it will be 65 times 2. Then he also charges an additional $10 for travel. Okay? So additional charge. So he wants you to pay for gas. Is $10. Okay, for the travel. So this could be that total charge. You have that the total charge now will be 65H plus 10. Everything in dollars. Everything in dollars. So that's it. You know, this is the. If you want a total charge to be maybe TC or T, we can say T. 65H plus 10. So this is a linear function. It's a linear function expressed in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Your mama ex-boyfriend. Y equal to mx plus b. So, and we, please, it's very important that you view the videos that we did on a graphs, slopes, functions, and intercepts. It's important that you view those videos before you do this one. It's very important so you can understand it better. So that's number 1. We're done with it. Number 2, it says the number of gallons of water Y in a tank after X hours is modeled by the linear equation Y is 700 minus 30X. Right? Now Y is the number of gallons and X is the hours. Okay, Y is the number of gallons, X is the hours. Number of gallons and X is the hours. So it says interpret the statement. Interpret this. So what does it tell you now? You know, here, if you look at this, because this is also in this is also like the linear function here in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. Okay? Equation of a straight line in slope-intercept form. Or you can say linear function in slope-intercept form. You see that the slope is m. Okay, the slope is the one that is is the coefficient of x. So this is the slope. And we have a negative slope. Okay, we have a negative slope. Now, if we have a positive slope, that means it's filling. It's filling. Okay, but we have a negative slope, so that means it's draining or emptying. So we can say that the tank, interpretation is that the tank is emptying at a rate of the tank is emptying at a rate of 30 gallons per hour. 30 gallons per hour. Okay? The tank is emptying at a rate of 30 gallons per hour. That is the interpretation. If it was plus, here is a positive slope. It will be filling. Right? Now this is just the y-intercept. Just like here. The 10. Just the y-intercept. Question 3. Question 3 says, write the equation of a line that passes through 0 and negative 12. So this is the point. It passes through this point. And it has a negative slope. Okay? It has a slope of negative 7. So that's the negative slope. How do we write this equation? It passes through this and it has a slope of negative 7. Now, the forms of equations which we did, if we look at the forms of equation, what are the forms of writing a linear function or a linear equation? You can write it in standard form. You can write it in slope-intercept form. You can write it in point-slope form. Point-slope form is this. When you have a point and a slope, so you write it in point-slope form. Point and a slope. Okay? So, we can write this in point-slope form. The point is 0 and negative 12. So this means that x1 is 0 and y1 is negative 12. And it passes through, the slope is negative 7. So the equation of a line in point slope form is y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. This is the equation of a line in point slope form. Point slope form. Point slope form. Now this will now be y minus 12. Of course, we use this when you have a point and a slope. Or sometimes when you have 2 points, you can still use this. If they give you 2 points and they expect you to write the equation of the line, you could still use this point slope form. You find the slope of the points, then you use any one point and that slope. So this is y minus 12. It's good you always write it out like this so that you don't make mistake. You write it out like this. What is x1? What is y1? So this is y minus 12 equal to m is negative 7 minus 7 x minus 0. So this is y plus 12 equal to negative 7 x, of course, plus 0. Okay? So y plus 12 is negative 7x. And then you want, sometimes they will require you to put it in slope-intercept form. They will not require you to put it in slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form. And that slope-intercept form is y equal to mx plus b. Or you can say your normal x-boyfriend. So this is y equal to minus 7x minus 12. This is your answer. Yeah. If you want to put it in slope-intercept form, the m is negative 7. That's the negative slope. And the y-intercept is negative 12. From the videos we did, you know how the graph will look like, right? The graph is going to it will it will pass through the negative y-axis, at negative 12, below the y-axis, and below the it will be below the x-axis. Okay, yeah, negative y-axis. Question 4. Which line is perpendicular to the line y equal to 3 over 4 times x plus 7? Of course, when we did the parallel lines and perpendicular lines have the same slope. The perpendicular lines, the product of the slope is negative 1. Or the slope of one line is the negative reciprocal of the slope of the other line. Now, let's start with this line, right? Let's start with this line. You know, something is missing here. If you look at this, there are some multiple choice questions that follow this. So, let's just look at it from the slope. Okay, from the slope point of view, there are some other questions that follow this. Usually, they give you a line and they expect it to pass through some points. Okay, they expect it to pass through certain points. Now, we can use the certain points as when x is 0, y is 7. So let's say which line is perpendicular to the line, this, and passes through let's have it as 0 and 7. Perpendicular to this passes through 0 and 7. Yeah. Usually they put this question, but in the quiz they did not. So they just gave you the multiple choice, which I did not write. You know, this is a similar problem. So what you have to do is you check each line and see which one corresponds to this. Yeah. Now, this is the first line, okay? Y equal to 3 over 4 x plus 7. What is the slope here? The slope is 3 over 4. M1. Let's call this first line or first equation. So M1 is 3 over 4. Now, for the second line, the slope, for them to be perpendicular, for the two lines to be perpendicular, okay, for line 1 to be perpendicular to line 2. For line 1 to be perpendicular to line 2, this is perpendicular. M1 times M2 will be negative 1. We can also say that M2 will be negative 1 over M1. Now that means that M2 will be negative 1 over 3 over 4. That tells you that M2 will be negative 1 over 1 divided by 3 over 4. That tells you that M2 will be negative 1 over 1 times 4 over 3. That means that M2 will be negative 4 over 3. Our M2 is going to be negative 4 over 3. Now, what we can now do is this. We can now write the equation of the line. We can now write the equation of the line. And that will be, if it passes through 0 and 7. What we now have is this. We have that our x1 is 0, our y1 is 7. Then we have the slope. So we use the point slope. We can use the point slope form right away. Point slope form, because we have the point and we have the slope. So this will be y minus y1 is m x minus x1. So this is y minus 7 equal to negative 4 over 3 x minus 0. Y minus 7 is negative 4 over 3x. Because this will give us 0. I mean, if you want to write plus 0, that's fine. Y minus 7 will be negative 4 over 3 times x plus 0 is still negative 4 over 3 times x. So y will be negative 4x over 3. You know that this means the same thing as this. Some students are scared, you know, they want to write it by the side. They think that this is not this. It's the same thing. The x belongs to the numerator, not the denominator. This is negative 4x over 3 plus 7. That tells you that this line and this line are perpendicular. That is what it means. These two lines are perpendicular. Number 5, question 5. A line passes through the points. They give you the points, negative 15 and negative 4, then negative 1 and 2. A, what is the slope of the line? B, what is the y-intercept of the line? Now, the slope of the line, we find it by the slope formula. Slope formula. The slope formula is that the slope m is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This is the slope formula. M is the slope, of course. M is the slope. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Let's go ahead and solve it. If we solve it, we have negative 15, negative 4. We can call this point 1. It's good you write it out like this so that you don't make mistake. It is good you write it out like this so you don't make mistake. Point 1, point 2. Some students might prefer to write it differently, which is still okay. Some students will come and write x1, y1, x2, y2. That is fine. Point 1 is that x1 is negative 15, y1 is negative 4. If we had point 3, it will be x3, y3. If we had point 4, it will be x4, y4. Point 2, x2 is negative 1, y2 is 2. We now have that the slope, m is the slope, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. You see, I had to write it out. I still wrote it out. M will now be 2 minus minus 4, 2 minus minus 4, all over x2 minus 1 minus minus 15. So the slope will be 2 plus 4 over minus 1 plus 15. That gives you 6 over 14. 2 into 6 is what? 3. 2 into 14 is what? 7. The slope is 3 over 7. That is the slope. Now let's find the y-intercept. If we want to find the y-intercept, there are two ways we could find it. We could go ahead and graph these points. We could go ahead and graph it and connect the points and see where it cuts the y-axis. Y-intercept is where the graph cuts the y-axis. We've talked about it in the previous video. Or another thing we can do is to solve it like this. We could just, without graphing it, we could still find the y-intercept here. And how do we do that? We will use the point, since we know the slope, we can use any point. We can use point 1, we can use point 2. I'm going to use the 2 points, so you see for yourself, it's going to give me the same equation. So I'm going to use the point slope form. When I use the point slope form, I find, I use point 1 and the slope, get the point slope form, and then put it in slope intercept form. Once I put it in slope intercept form, my B is the y-intercept. So I'm going to use it for the 2 points. It does not matter. That's the beauty of it. Okay, when you use it for any point, you will still get your answer. So if I use it for point 1, passes through this point 1. If I use this passes through point 1, which is negative 15 and negative 4, and the slope is 3 over 7. So this means that my x1 is negative 15 and my y1 is negative 4. For the point slope form, y minus y1 is equal to m x minus x1. Now y minus minus 4 is equal to 3 over 7 x minus minus 15. Y plus 4 is equal to 3 over 7 times x plus 15. Y plus 4 is equal to 3x over 7 plus 3 times 15, 5, 15, 1, 45. 45 over 7. Now, let's say I don't like, I have to leave it in slope-intercept form. So, I can't multiply by the LCD. I've got to leave it in slope-intercept form, like this. Then, my y-intercept will now be this. So, let's go ahead and complete it. We now have that y will be equal to 3x over 7 plus 45 over 7 minus 4. You can call it 4 over 1. Now, when we do that, if we do that, 45 over 7 minus 4 over 1, LCD is 7 times 1 times 1, 45. Please view my videos on fractions. This is times 7 times 7, 28. The equivalent fraction is 28 over 7. So this will give us 45 minus 28 over 7. 15 minus 8 is 7. And 3 minus 2 is 1. 17 over 7. See that? We now have that y is equal to 3x over 7 plus 17 over 7. That means that the y-intercept, of course, this is the y-intercept. Y-intercept, if you compare it with the slope-intercept form, compare. If you compare this, compare these two things. Let me put it like this. Compare these two. If you compare these two things, then the y-intercept is 17 over 7. That's it. Now, some of you might be thinking, what if I use the 0.2? It will give me the same thing. Trust me, it will. It will give me the same thing. If I have it like this, 0.2 passes through negative 1 and 2. Right? So this means that x1, now I know that it's 0.2, but since we are using it as a point, we have to use x1. x1 is negative 1, and y1 is 2. Point slope form, y minus y1 is equal to m, x minus x1. Y minus 2 is equal to 3 over 7, x minus minus 1. Y minus 2 is equal to 3 over 7, x plus 1. Y minus 2 is equal to 3 over 7, 3x over 7 plus 3 over 7. See that? So let's go ahead and complete this. So y will be equal to 3x over 7 plus 3 over 7 plus 2. We now do 3 over 7 plus 2. What is it going to give us? 3 over 7 plus 2. 3 over 7 plus 2 over 1. 7, 7, 1, 1, 3. 7, 7. The equivalent is 14. Now this will be 3 plus 14 over 7, which is 17 over 7. I told you we'll get the same thing. Now this will be y equal to 3x over 7 plus 17 over 7. And when you compare it with this, that means the y-intercept is 17 over 7. Understood? Now question 6, last but not the least. Last but not the least. Let's say we have a graph. Let's say we have graph. I'm just going to sketch this. Just a sketch. This is just a sketch. X, Y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. Negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say we have this sketch, and then I have 2 points. I have the first point, which passes through the origin, and I have the second point. And I know that this is a curved line, okay? Let's say it's a curved line. Let's say it's a curved line. This was similar question that you were asked. Now, you see that this point here is 0, 0, 0, 0. And you see that this point here, I know it's not, I know it's kind of, what I mean was 2 and 5. Now, so you have the first point, point 1. Point 1 is what? 0, 0. And point 2 is what? 2, 5. What is the minimum value of x? Come on now. Point 1, x1. Point 1, 0, 0. So that means x1 is 0, and then y1 is 0, then x2 is 2, and then y2 is 5. So look at this now. Come on. What's the minimum value of x? It's 0. What is the maximum value of x? It's 2. What is the minimum value of y? It is 0. What is the maximum value of y? It is 5. What is the domain of the function? We talked about domain in the videos on functions, relations and functions. Domain includes all x. Domain includes all x. So we have here all values of x from 0 to 2. This is a shaded circle. Shaded circle. If it was an open circle, then it would not include 0 and 2. But this is a shaded circle. So it includes 0 and includes 2. That is the domain for it, because it's all the x values. Please view the videos I did on relations and functions. So you see you understand the linear functions, and then you understand domain and range. This is a shaded circle, so it includes this. So the domain will be, if it is an interval notation, because they asked you to write it in the interval notation, it includes 0 and 2. From all the values from 0 to 2. 0 and 2 are included. Why are 0 and 2 included? Because this is a shaded circle. If it is an open circle, this is a closed circle, shaded side. If it was open like this, if it was open circle, right? If this was open circle, let's say like this. If it was open circle, then it will be 0, 2. It will be a parenthesis, which is an open interval. This is a closed interval. Then the range will be what? What is the range? The range is also included in y. It will be from 0 to 5. 0 and 5 are included. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, okay? Thank you for listening, and you have a great day.